Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light. You don't have the power because you don't have two people.
I know, but I thought Riley was going to hit the button. So that's all right. There it is. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. No Matt Hamilton, no primetime Wollersheim. Although I saw him earlier today, so he's just ditching the show.
He has a good excuse.
His family's in town,
Yeah, he's got the fam here.
They could have hung back there.
True.
We had some Pizza Hut here. We got...
He was ordering in a whole spread of North and South.
Oh, good for him.
Yes.
That's totally worth it then. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, fantastic food, especially to have ordered in. So Prime gets day off. We're happy to have Riley Yauk behind the glass. And, the more times he's back there, the quicker he'll be on the draw with the hotkeys.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You can also join in on the next Crush Coors Light one, too.
Okay.
You have permission.
Sounds good. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I've
got the power.
Yeah, the only real restriction for that one is you just have to be 21. Remember, we couldn't let Colin Russo do it. We didn't want Colin Russo.
Wait, are you 21?
Yeah,
You're 21.
I'm 23, so...
You're 23?
Yeah.
Jesus. Don't you feel like we've known him since he was like 16? I don't know. I feel like you've been here forever.
That's not uncommon here. I've known Greg Scalzo since probably he was 21.
That's weird.
20 or
Wow.
21.
Yeah, that's weird.
Gabe Neitzel around that same age range.
Weird.
Dang.
I'm trying to think who else I would have known around that same age range. Those are the two that come to mind.
How old
Yeah.
were you at that time, Jim?
Greg, I think I'm 8 years. I was 28 when I knew Greg. So Greg was 20, 21, somewhere in that range. Same with Neitzel. I think they're similar in age. I think Greg might be a little bit older than Neitzel.
How old are you?
I am 44.
Huh.
Greg Scalzo's older than you think. Now, same with Gabe Neitzel.
Yeah, I was going to say. So what is that, 7 years? What's that? Greg Scalzo's 37 then? Potentially?
He might be 35, 36, somewhere in that range. Again, I don't know exactly. In 2008, I was 28. I think that's when I met Neitzel, who was about in that 20, 21, 22-year-old, because he was finishing up college at Platteville. So he would have been a junior, senior sort of window. And then Scalzo, when he was interning around the same time at UW-Madison, was in his junior, senior year. So,
that's wild.
So I'm just kind of guessing based off where they are in where they were in school.
Jim, this will make you feel good. Going off our conversation we ended the show with yesterday, Ryan, our psychedelic advisor, he said the soundbite you guys played to open the show with the guy complaining about Jim being a Bears fan. How stupid are people to think that only Packers fans lived in Wisconsin and that there aren't any other fans? As you sport your Bears gear today.
I am wearing my it's muted Bears gear, and it's free Bears gear from a guy that a buddy of mine, Lamar Soup Campbell. We try to get him on a jump around that I got hooked up.
Oh, there you go.
Bears, so it's not even my favorite thing. Robin Madison helping Riley out there. So Rob, we'll get that taken care of. 844-770-3776. How you get into the show? It is a big weekend in Madison, and that's what I want to talk about. We're going to juxtapose it to a pretty meh game for the Packers against Jacksonville. And the Packers are a good football team. They're a legit Super Bowl contender.
Top 5?
I have them 6, but that still has them second, I think, in the NFC. I'm trying to run it off the top of my head here. So I have I have the Chiefs number 1, then Detroit. I would have Baltimore, and I think I had Buffalo in front of them. I feel like there's one more team. Not Minnesota. Although
that was we made that list before yesterday.
I know, and I'm not going to write Minnesota off as complete frauds. Thursday night games are always wonky. So
and they also got gypped.
And but I thought so. I think I have them 6, and I believe ESPN did too because they had the Packers 5th as the 5th best contender to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs were 1. And then the Packers were 5th. So I do have the Packers as a top 6 team, but I think I have them as the second best team in the NFC. I can't think of anyone outside of Detroit where I can absolutely, unquestionably say they're better than the Packers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the other team would have been because I'm just looking at the power rankings. Bills and Commanders. Commanders are 7 on here, but they weren't ahead.
No, I wouldn't have had the
I don't know what
Commanders
other
on
team that
there.
would
So
have been.
it would have been the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, the Lions, and maybe it was the Packers at 5. Maybe I'm
Top
forgetting
5?
someone. They're right 5 or 6. 844-770-3776. How you get into the show. David Deerfield says that it's going to be a 2-0 weekend. I hope so. But to the Packers first. And then I want to get to the exciting part. The Packers game on Sunday. And, Molly, maybe you can look up the weather. It just feels like a game where some call it a trap game, but I don't believe in trap games in the NFL. If you get trapped in a game in the NFL, that's on you because they're professional athletes. They are getting paid to do their job. There's talented players on Jacksonville. They all want to be playing in the league next year. The coaches want to be coaching in the league next year. So, like, if you go out there and lose to Jacksonville or lay an egg and win by, like, 3, obviously that's the better scenario, but that's on you for not showing up. You have to respect teams in the NFL. I expect, and I'm going to hold the Packers to the standard of a double-digit victory. I don't think it has to be anything like just kicking the snot out of them, but you get to 10, it's like that's a good B victory. You get to, I would say, 14 or more, that's an A. And a win's a win, though, at the same time. Always in the NFL, a win's a win. But realistically, this Packer game, there's a lot of scenarios where you could end up feeling not as good about them going out of it as you did going into the game. Mm-hmm. That's not the case for the Badgers. But what is the weather on Sunday?
Would you like
In
the
Madison.
weather for Green? Okay.
I don't care what the weather's in Jacksonville.
All right. Madison weather on Sunday is 60 degrees and sunny. That's a high. It's pretty good.
Felt like Green Bay to me.
Yeah, so that's my point. So this is a game, the Packer game is a skippable
So you're not going to
game.
want to sit on your couch and
Like, it is legitimate. You can make a legitimate case that Sunday will be that'll be the best day of the year for the rest of the year.
it's a perfect day to go to the pumpkin patch is what you're saying?
Pumpkin Patch, State Devils Lake, State Park, like a million things to do. Like, you could go outside and truly get some points with, we'll just be sexist on it, get some points with your wife, and get points with your partner. Like, just go out and be like, hey, hon, let's go for a hike, let's go kayak, like, let's go do one of these things. Packers playing Jacksonville, everyone's got DVR. I can catch the game later. Let's enjoy the weather today.
See, but that's the mentality that makes me think that the Packers could lose.
You're not playing in the game, Molly.
I know I'm not, but like if I'm leaving because I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's really not a game that I need to go watch. It's nice weather out, like all that. That makes me think, oh God, they're going to lose. I'm going to start getting ESPN notifications saying that they're up like 21-7 over the Packers.
How big is your ego
Yeah,
that you think that what you're doing affects the game?
I was
I
about
mean-
to ask the same thing. How much impact do you think you watching the game has on how they play?
Are you guys not superstitious at all? I fully am. I fully am.
Honestly, as I work to overcome my being uncomfortable flying, I've just taught myself my thoughts aren't magic.
But mine are.
Okay.
So I don't know how yours work, but mine are. If I manifest them, it happens. Not with everything.
Yeah.
But with Packers
if your
games,
thoughts
for
are magic,
sure.
you need to have some better dreams because you're sitting here hosting the show with me on a
do you
Friday
have,
afternoon.
do you have any examples of this happening to you in the past?
No. Just do you guys not watch Packer game? Well, for you Bears games or Badgers games for you Riley, and you're like, okay, if I don't take a drink of my drink during this drive, then like they're gonna score. Or like that's a stupid example, but I do that kind of stuff, and that I might
Yes.
get put into like a mental hospital
No,
for
I've
thinking these
changed
things.
shirts or whatever. Like, yes, absolutely. But it does. I also know it has no effect outside of making me feel better.
Maybe, but you
No.
think that, but
No.
you don't know that.
I know that.
I think the only time I really think that, like, I totally get what you're saying, but maybe like, oh, I left to go get a glass of water and something good happened. Like the Packers just scored a touchdown or the Badgers just scored.
Yep.
Like when I was at the Badgers USC game, I was walking up to the press box during the Badgers' first drive. I don't know if I mentioned this when I talked to Jim and John Arias about this, but I was walking to the press box and I hear a loud cheer go up and I'm like, shoot, Braden Locke just threw a pick six. This game's already over. And then I hear the PA announcer in the press box like, Braden Locke to Vinny Anthony. 68 yards, touchdown Wisconsin. And I'm like, yo, let's go. So then on the second half, I was coming back up and like, okay, maybe if I'm gone,
Exactly.
there's going to be another big play. So I get it.
Exactly.
I get it, but it's also insane.
Ryan, the psychedelic advisor, says, hey, downtown Molly Brown affects everything.
There you go. 844-770-3776. It's the afternoon game, Ryan. I got the Bears Washington got flexed to 325. So
I'm excited for that game. I hope I actually get it. And because I've been wanting to watch some Commanders games to see if they're actually legit
I don't know
or
if
what
Daniels
it
is playing. Apparently, he had a vigorous practice today. He wasn't going to practice today. Initially listed as out for practice, but apparently they ran him through practice today. The way I gathered is he has a rib injury. And it's actually our friends at ESPN Chicago that broke this down. I think it was Jurkovic, who talked about how when you have a rib injury, even if it's healed, you have that bruise there, that your muscles kind of tighten because your muscle in your body recognizes that you have a vulnerable area that it's trying to protect. And so the muscles keep on squeezing to try to protect that area, to try to make sure that it's covered and they're tense to protect your ribs because they're bruised, or I don't think they're broken. They might be fractured, but even bruised. And they said that's the discomfort, and that discomfort can be basically crippling. Like, you can't play through it.
Did you watch the quarterback show on Netflix when it was Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Because remember that was when he was getting over his rib injury and he would go into that ice tub and it was just like, and it was like you could just see the pain coming out of him. That's all I think of.
It takes your breath away. I remember, I think, was it Jordy Nelson? There was a player who had some rib injury issues, and the concern was if they had their arms up, they could take a shot there. And again, the pain would be overwhelming. And then it's scary, though, too, because you can't breathe. And so that's where I think that's what Daniels is working through. I think he's going to play. But we'll have to wait and see on that. I don't know how healthy he's going to be. I don't know if he'll finish that game. That's part of what you get with Jaden Daniels. But 844-770-3776. Here's what we're asking you. Are you more excited about the Bears? Or excuse me, not the Bears. Are you more excited? Sorry.
We can add that. We can see what people want to say.
Are you more excited about the Badgers playing Penn State, or are you more excited about the Packers playing Jacksonville? 844-770-3776. J&K Security Solutions is a locally owned, family-run business that has been part of the Madison community for nearly 40 years. Jeffrey and the team at J&K care about making sure your home and business is safe. With business, it's commercial fire detection and commercial security and surveillance. And for home, they have security and home automation. Contact our friends at J&K Security Solutions today. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Max Bankman, I'm the new doctor.
Welcome aboard the Odyssey.
ABC Thursdays.
This ship is heaven. We're tending to our passengers' dreams. I'm in.
From 911 executive producer Ryan Murphy comes a splashy new drama on a luxury cruise ship with Joshua Jackson and Don Johnson.
It's your job to keep everyone alive.
She's in VFib. 1, 2, 3. Clear.
I have a pulse.
You're going to be okay.
Dr. Odyssey. Thursdays, 9/8 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tended to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Get more per pour at the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company is a Madison original, brewing award-winning craft beers for 30 years. And now, it's time for their bigger and better happy hour. Every Monday through Thursday from 3 until 6 p.m., enjoy 20-ounce pints of the Great Dane's flagship beers for only $3. From Crop Circle Wheat to the Old Glory APA. Head to one of their 4 locations, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, and East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
If you're looking for a way to stay hydrated and energized, just keep it simple with Water Joe. 2 simple ingredients. That's right, water and caffeine. You get the help to staying hydrated and that extra boost of energy that we all need. No sugar, no additives, no off flavors. Just great tasting water with caffeine to give you a boost. That's all. Next time you want some healthy, clean energy to get you through the day, hydrate and energize with Water Joe. Find Water Joe at your local Pick and Save and Metro Market locations today.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Fish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
When I see the connection, though I see, I don't stare. Though I see, I don't stare. When I'm lost in my reflection, though I see, I don't stare.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light, live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. We are asking you, as it is a double football weekend this time of year. It's very common. We have the double football weekends. But we are asking you, which game are you more excited about? The Packers versus Jacksonville or Wisconsin versus Penn State? I'm firmly in the Wisconsin versus Penn State bandwagon on this. And it's not just because I'm not a Packer fan. I'm more excited about Wisconsin versus Penn State than even – no, I shouldn't say that because the Bears are playing a real one. But I would say that, like, there's a case to be made that, like, if the Bears were playing Carolina, I'd probably be more excited about Wisconsin-Penn State because I factor in the weather. I factor in the time of year. I factor in the opponent for the Packers. I also factor in what type of team the Packers are and what their expectations are. So this game, to me, is like the equivalent of Wisconsin playing directional Michigan. Now, it's the NFL version of it. And, again, Jacksonville is a professional team. I'm just saying that it's one of those where unless the Packers go out and win by 10-plus and realistically 14-plus points, you're going to feel a little bit icky about it.
So this doesn't feel like a Northwestern game to you if we're going to equate it to college football with the Badgers?
I just saw Jacksonville play. They're not very good. After the game, they played against the Bears in London.
But they're coming off a win in London.
But their players were talking about how they quit.
But also, Doug Peterson is playing for
again. It's the NFL. Everyone can win
for his job. Like
again, anyone can win at any. Yes, in the NFL, absolutely. Any given Sunday is a real thing. But what I'm saying is, I am more excited for the Badgers. It's a night game. It is at Camp Randall. It is 3 wins in a row for the Wisconsin Badgers. If they win this, homecoming. If they win this, I think they're ranked.
They've got to be, right? There's no way that how many losses do they have? 2?
2, yeah, to Alabama,
USC and Alabama.
In the coaches poll, they didn't get any votes in the AP poll, but they got 3 in the coaches poll. So, like, they're starting to get on the radar.
And Penn State is ranked 3 going into this game.
You knock out the number 3 team in the country. It's your 4th win in a row. That puts you at 6-2 on the year.
You're at least between 20 and 25.
You are ranked. And so that's what's on the line for the Badgers. It also would be the biggest victory for the Badgers under Luke Fickell. And it changes the vibes and the trajectory, at least amongst fans, for this team. Because now you win this one, you feel good about Iowa. the players feel good about Iowa.
Oh, yeah, you have the confidence going in.
And
You have the confidence going into any game.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You win this, and now, let's get crazy. College football playoffs is is available.
You're speaking Riley's language. Riley has lectured me about this.
But if you do win it, that's what's on the line. If you win this, that is available to you. It is, because if you beat Penn State, beating Oregon is not a pipe dream.
It's not a pipe dream. It's still a hell of a task.
Without a doubt.
But it could happen.
And so
there's a chance.
There is a chance. I don't need to go on my whole diatribe. Me
Do
and
it.
Pablo
No,
did a
please do.
practice segment.
Please do.
Okay, so I read an article. I believe it was from the Badger Blitz, completely unrelated, unbiased source. Just throw that out there.
Yeah.
It was the Badgers' path to the college football playoff. You beat Oregon, or beat Penn State this weekend. Pardon me. It's going to happen. Number 3, they're coming off a bye week. They're looking ahead to Ohio State. They're not worried about the Badgers. I don't care what they say, what their fans say. They're not worried. They think they have more talent than us, which objectively they probably do. But you throw in that mental side. They're looking ahead to Ohio State. We're hot right now. Badgers going to win, going to be under the lights at Camp Randall Stadium. It's going to happen. Badgers beat Penn State. Then you move on. You got Iowa. It's going to... That one's tough. Kinnick.
Iowa really hasn't beaten anyone good, though.
That's true.
And
That's
Kinnick
true.
is bigger in our heads than it is. The only time the Badgers lose to Kinnick is when the Badgers aren't good.
Yeah, that's fair. So there you go. They beat Iowa at Kinnick Stadium. Kinnick, it's a fraudulent atmosphere. Fraudulent atmosphere. Then I believe the Badgers have a bye before they play Oregon. So then you get rested up. Tough couple of games. Then you take on Oregon, which would also...
Hold on. Pause there. Do you like the bye in between? Let's say
I
things
do.
are going as planned. They beat Penn State. They beat Iowa at Iowa. Do you like that gap, or are you just like, that could tamper their... I don't know what word I'm looking for.
The momentum?
Yes,
you
momentum.
could say.
I was looking
I
for
like
an
the
M word.
gap after what would be incredibly physical games against Penn State and especially Iowa.
True. That is true.
And you're going to come off the high of Penn State. Then if they're able to carry that into Iowa, they're going to be, I feel like mentally and physically just wiped. So
Fair.
then you get a chance to recharge. You take on Oregon. That's going to be a very difficult game, but it'll probably also be a night game. You also get it at Camp Randall. Everything plays into your favor. Then you go out to Lincoln, fraudulent atmosphere as well.
Absolutely. Badgers always
Wait,
win.
hold on. Doesn't that always feel like... Wait, hold on. Doesn't that exactly what you just described? Those 3 wins, 3 huge wins. Doesn't the game in Lincoln, Nebraska then feel like the exact game that they could lose? That'll just knock everything off?
They know what they're
damn.
playing for. Luke Fickell got his team to the college football playoffs already. They know what to do. He knows how to coach them up.
Yes, and the thing is, the Badgers just don't lose to Nebraska. I was out there when they beat them 15-14. I saw the eye roll. I think
the game that they barely won.
Yes,
Hey,
I mean, a win is a win.
They should
A
not
win
have
is a
won
win.
that game. They should not have won that game. They played like crap for 3.5
Graham Mertz
quarters.
sucked.
But then Graham Mertz, they pulled it out. They don't lose to Nebraska. So you beat Nebraska, then Minnesota. I feel like that'd be a scrap at the end. That would be tough, but you're going to keep the axe. And then everything's in front of you. You have one
imagine
loss.
that glory of keeping the axe and then securing a college football playoff berth and just shoving it in Minnesota's face.
Beautiful.
The first year that it's a 12-team playoff, too.
And imagine
Like you make it.
Expanded Big Ten, 18 teams, all these West Coast teams just came in, and your inaugural Big Ten championship game in this new format, Wisconsin versus Indiana, to go to the playoff. That's beautiful. So there you go.
It's all right in front of the Badgers.
Everything they want, genuinely, even though more than likely it's not going to play out like that, everything the Badgers want's right in front of them.
It is.
So
It is right there.
There's a chance.
Y'all are just getting way too ahead of your skis. Like, you're lucky that I'm on the same page as you of I think they're going to win this weekend. I think they're going to win tomorrow night under the lights at Camp Randall. I really do. I don't know what my score prediction was, but I want to say it was between 3 and 7 points, maybe 3 and 5 points. So it wasn't a big margin of victory, but still, a win is a win. But you guys are getting way too far ahead of yourselves. Like, you are tipping over in your skis right now if you believe all of the things that you just said. Does that sound totally awesome? Of course it does. But back up. Let's get through tomorrow.
If you can beat the number 3 team in the country, you can beat anyone. That's why tomorrow night is...
Whoa. Because I feel like I've heard various people say, well, is Penn State really that good and all this stuff? And I disagree. I think they're a good football team. But I've watched Oregon a couple times this year, too. That, like, what is the gap between Oregon and Penn State? I know Oregon is ranked number 1 right now, then obviously Gap, and then 3 as Penn State. But, like, how much better is Oregon versus Penn State?
Who did Vanderbilt just beat?
Alabama.
And Alabama murdered us.
Well,
does that mean we're going to get murdered by Vanderbilt?
There's no transitive property.
Alabama beat Georgia. Georgia just beat Texas, the number 1 team in the country.
No, don't get me wrong. This is the most parody of college football I feel like there has ever been, like, in the most recent years. It just feels so, like, like you were saying, any given Sunday in the NFL, it feels like that in NCAA right now. Like, it is crazy, but I don't know. Let's just get through tomorrow. But tamper your expectations.
But here's why. I'm just setting up why this game is more exciting than the Packers versus Jacks. Like, I'm just going to run it through again. In Madison, so it's in our state. It is the number 3 team in the country. The whole country will be watching. The Badgers have a chance to announce their presence with authority to the entire college football world that Luke Fickell, what does it tell them the Badgers are back? Like, like it's one of those things where I forget what movie that's from, but basically, like, go ahead and tell college football the Badgers are back. That's on the table. If they beat Penn State, you can end the game with go ahead and tell college football the Badgers are back. And that is on the table. Night game, Camp Randall, homecoming, the whole country watching. So much juice, so much excitement. And then you got a Sunday afternoon tilt that nobody's watching outside of the state of Green Bay. Like, that game's not the national
The state
game.
of Green Bay?
I'm sorry, the state of Wisconsin in Green Bay. But, like,
same thing.
The state and Green Bay. But,
everybody at Applebee's is watching. That's it.
Exactly. So, but my point being that it's not going to be the game, like the Sunday afternoon game. Like, it's a bleh. Like, even the Packers got to show up.
It's a filler on the schedule.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying the Packers, aren't going to take this serious. I'm not saying that if they lose, they're bums or whatever. Look, it's an NFL game. Any given Sunday is a real thing. But I'm saying juice for the game. Your only juice for this game, Molly, is like for superstitious reasons. I guess I should just put in the time to watch it. Like, that's your juice for it.
Well, yeah.
Because otherwise, it's what? People are gonna stay in their pajamas, lounge around, not go breathe the beautiful fresh air outside.
Isn't that
watch
what every
this
Sunday
crap
is?
football game. But again, you go and do that, and it's the Texans. Yeah, if it's a 3:00 game, you go do something. I hope
it's actually the perfect game. Like, this weekend's game for the Packers is the perfect game for it to be raining outside, and then you just don't feel bad that you're laying on your couch watching this
game. Don't do it. Skip it. DVR it. Enjoy the weather.
DVR it, Jim. Oh, my God.
Yeah, go to the orchard.
Yeah.
Go pick some apples.
Dave in Deerfield says, you guys are spot on about the Badger game. A night win creates a citywide buzz. Ryan, Psychedelic Advisor, says, most casual Packer fans will not watch the game tomorrow. # facts. I don't know if that...
I wouldn't even blame him.
Facts.
844.
I didn't say he did.
Go ahead.
JJ.net says, important to note that most metrics / rankings that are stats-based have the Badgers between 13th and 15th.
Even better.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Is that at the end of the season, or is that after beating Penn
that's
State?
After last.
I'm guessing he's looking like
I'm not sure.
I would think that's like cumulative
net points and defense, offense, those sort of ratings.
Okay.
Carbon World Health has helped me reach and maintain my fitness goals. They can do the same for you. All you have to do is sign up for the 6-week experience, and you'll start to see the difference that Carbon makes. You'll get personalized training, and you'll meet with Dr. Nestor Rodriguez to see if semaglutide or hormone optimization could help enhance your healthy lifestyle. And don't forget that they have a new location in Sun Prairie, the Med Spa out there. You can talk to them about hormone optimization, semaglutide, along with plenty of other great beauty products like the Hydrofacial and others. At Carbon World Health, learn more at carbonworldhealth.com. Jason Wilde joins the show next. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's bird bashing season when you swoop into Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to a wicked 50 grand cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card all October for entries. All Bird Bash entries go towards a December 20th giveaway with a monstrous 300 grand in prizes. Bird Bash makes its bewitching return. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, including one featured dive bar that will offer $2 High Lifes and High Life Lights for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like The Pub at Pleasant Springs, London Depot, Wilson's Bar, and Pitcher's Pub.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You'll be able to... Or you can even just... With impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy trucks have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jason, quick question.
You are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called Don't Go Jason Waterfalls?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not going to lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
We are thrilled to have Jason Wilde. Of course, it's not actually Jim, Matt, and Molly. It's Jim and Molly. Matt Hamilton out. Matt's honestly out till what?
I don't.
December?
Yeah, basically.
Basically, yeah, or right before Thanksgiving. But we got Jason Wilde. We got plenty to talk about Packers. But I wanted to, Jason, we asked this poll question, and I get it. Fans are maniacal, they're superstitious, but we asked the question, like, what game are you more excited for this weekend, Wisconsin versus Penn State or Packers versus Jaguars? And this Packers versus Jaguars game is Sunday afternoon. That's probably going to be one of the last nice days of the year. They should, like, the only outcome where people are going to feel good about this game is if they win by like 10 to 14 points. And it's really just like, just go win and try to be pretty about it. But like the Badgers game It could be a signature win. The entire country is watching. It is at Camp Randall. It's homecoming. It's a night game. What a great way to cap a Saturday. Like, there's so much more juice to that game as opposed to like a Sunday afternoon game against a 2-win team for the Packers. You get to cover that. So what are your thoughts?
Who are the Packers playing?
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Uh-oh.
Jaguars. That's how you say it. Jaguars, right?
Jaguars, yeah, Jaguars. Yeah, look, as NFL matchups go, I mean, I suppose there's always the chance, right? Any given Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, this is not a sexy matchup at all. Like, if Trevor Lawrence was playing really well and the Jaguars were 5-2 instead of 2-5, there'd be a heck of a lot more juice, and rightfully so. We'd be talking about, two of the best young and highest-paid quarterbacks in the league going up against each other. Maybe it would be a closer battle than it was last week when the defense took C.J. Stroud's lunch, right? But instead, the Jags are 2-5. They certainly have been not a very good football team. Their defense, I think they're 29th in scoring defense, 31st in pass defense. Like, this is a game the Packers should win and win going away. And you're right. Any outcome, even if they win by 3 on another Brandon McManus walk-off, there'll be some measure of disappointment that they didn't take care of business the way they needed to. But to me, they just have to win the game. Like, this is a get through it and carry the momentum you've got going into a 4-game winning streak before you face the Lions. Because I do believe in momentum. And if they play extremely well, then it'll be even more valuable. But as long as they win and are on a 4-game winning streak, even if it's ugly, I just think that puts them in a really good spot heading into one of the critical turning point moments of their season.
And you kind of touched on it for a second there with the quarterback situation. And in year 2, Trevor Lawrence was probably viewed statistically in the way he was talked about as every bit of what the NFL and media talks about with Jordan Love as an ascending player. And he wasn't bad last year. 65, almost 66% completion percentage, 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns. He threw too many interceptions. Just a little make a note of that. And then, but this year, he's not playing bad. 62%. That's higher than Jordan Love. More yards. He's played more games. 9 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. So it's not like he's a bum out there, but it is perception's part of reality. You got to play on a winning team, but he's also the poster child for like, hey, success or constant growth from a quarterback from good into elite isn't guaranteed.
No, it isn't. And you've heard me say a million times that growth is not linear, and there's going to be ups and downs and setbacks and bumps in the road, and I think we've seen that with Jordan. But, Trevor Lawrence was the guy that I was thinking of heading into this season, of saying, look, I believe Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I think he has the ability to become a very good and maybe even a great quarterback. I don't know about Hall of Fame quarterback. I don't know about MVP quarterback, but very good. But it's not going to just be puppy dogs and ice creams and seashells and balloons on the road to that point. And I think we've seen it, right? I mean, he's dealt with an injury. He's missed 2 games. He's had a game where he threw 3 picks in a game. I think he's had 1 game that he started this season in which he did not at least throw 1 interception. I think that's right. I think there's only 1 game all year where he did not throw a pick so far. And so, does that cast doubt on my belief that he's going to be a very good quarterback in this league? No, it's part of the process. And, I will say this, I don't know what to make of Trevor Lawrence because, as you said, he's not making colossal mistakes, 3 picks on the season, but he doesn't make enough plays. And that's what Love is going through the process of, is figuring out where that line is between an acceptable risk for a chance for a big play, like the touchdown to Kraft, and a too much of a risk, and it's going to be a big, colossal mistake that hurts your team, which he certainly had his share of those as well.
Jason, the talk of this week, talk of the town this week, I guess I should say, is bringing in Robert Saleh to help with the offense. What has been the reaction from the players that you've talked to this week of his presence at practice?
Let me ask you a question, and it's not. I hate prefacing it by saying, I don't mean this to be sexist.
Go ahead.
But this morning on our Beaver Dam morning show, Sherry Sackett mentioned how much even more handsome the Packers coaching staff has become with Robert Saleh. Is she right on that?
Facts. 100%. The Green Bay Packers now have the most attractive coaching staff, correct?
Okay.
In the NFL.
I'm on board. Now, I have not comped them to other coaching staffs.
I haven't
maybe
either.
there's
The Texas head coach looked like a handsome fella.
He is a good looking
I'm just going
dude.
off youth. I think that's a big factor for this. There's a lot of olds out there.
Yeah.
Now, you're not putting Mike McCarthy in there?
Jim Harbaugh with his old band glasses.
Mike Zimmer?
I said
What
youth.
did Mike do?
Yeah.
Hey.
I said age.
necessary.
I know.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy's older. Kevin O'Connell, good looking dude, right? We can all agree on that.
Flus got the glow up. He's got.
We're not talking about Eberflus. Get out of
He
here.
got the glow up.
Anyways, continue, Jason.
Okay. The reason I ask is because I agree, and I look. I think Robert Saleh is more than just a pretty face. I think he's a damn good football coach. Now, I will acknowledge the possibility that the Jets' problems weren't just managing Aaron Rodgers or whatever it might be. It's possible that Robert Saleh is one of those guys that he advanced one level higher than he should have. Right? You get like Nathaniel Hackett. He actually advanced 2 levels higher than he probably should have. Right? Like he wasn't a good head coach, and I think without Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, I think we've seen now he's not a good offensive coordinator either. And so maybe Robert Saleh is just a really good defensive coach. Maybe he's a really good defensive coordinator. And the reason I say this is because you are basically getting, and I am convinced they're getting him for free. Like LaFleur's putting him up in his house, and if I'm Robert Saleh, I am giving the big middle finger to Woody Johnson and saying, I'm going to work for these guys for Quick Trip gift cards because if there's offset language in his contract, I'm not taking a salary because I want to make Woody Johnson pay me every penny he owes me.
Yep.
And so they get this really smart guy and good looking for very little to no cost. And what I love about this is that so LaFleur, I love the fact that he says, look, he's going to work with the offense. And they did this with Aubrey Pleasant, the former Badgers. What was he, a safety, Jimmy?
Yep.
And who's been in the league as a coach now for a while. And he got fired by the Lions as their defensive passing game coordinator during the 22 season. And LaFleur, who'd known him for a long time, brought him in the same way. Look at my offense from a defensive-minded perspective. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you like. Tell me how you'd attack us. Tell me what you think the weaknesses are. And that's what Saleh is doing. But they have this unique situation where I think LaFleur's thought process was, look, I don't want him stepping on my defensive coordinator's toes or my defensive coaches. I don't want him meddling on that. But they just happen to have another guy who's really good friends with Robert Saleh. Not as good as LaFleur. He's not staying at Jeff Hafley's house. Jeff Hafley wasn't his best man in his wedding like LaFleur was for Saleh. But they worked together. They stayed in touch after Hafley went to Ohio State and then to BC. He considers Saleh one of his biggest mentors in coaching. And so I love the fact that, A, Hafley is super self-confident. He is not insecure. I think that's such an important quality that he basically said, look, I know what Matt said. I know where the line's supposed to be. But if Robert has a really good idea about a blitz or I have something that I want his help on, we're going to ignore that line because we'd be stupid to not use his expertise. And I'm confident enough in who I am that I'm not going to feel threatened by it. And I love that. I love their chemistry on their staff. They've really, they've grown together, and then they've added some pieces of guys that weren't with them originally that have really complemented that staff. regardless of how handsome they are. And I just think they've really put together a good chemistry there, and I think it trickles down to the players.
Talking with Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch. You listen to that weekdays 9 to noon here on ESPN Wisconsin. The other part of it, and Matt got somehow offended by it, and I was trying to pay a compliment to Matt LaFleur and this Packers defense, but it's not an impossible world where this Packers team makes the Super Bowl. They have a top 10 defense, and Jeff Hafley someone might want to talk to him. It happens when you have top coordinators. So having Robert Saleh, who is a legitimate friend of Coach LaFleur, but having Robert Saleh get a lay of the land, see some people and agree with, that's not the worst thing either. I don't think that's high on the list, but I also think that LaFleur is not obtuse, that he knows, hey, I don't want to sell Saleh on Green Bay, let him experience the town a little bit just in case we do what we want to do. Hafley might be gone in a year.
So wait, Matt LaFleur was, or Matt Hamilton was offended by that idea?
Number one Packers
Hamilton somehow thought I was trying to be negative. I was like, yeah, Matt, if you have good assistants, they move on. You would take that trade-off, Super Bowl, lose your defensive coordinator.
Yeah, again, I would like to state for the record that I love Matt Hamilton. He sent me a note earlier today after he saw the video for our headlines where I put on a long-haired wig and said that I looked better than he did with long hair, which he knows is a lie. I mean, we've seen his borderline Playgirl photo shoot that he had. So I get that. But this is the second time in about a week and a half where I've learned that he's a knucklehead. I mean, the saving points by throwing the pick six is still one of my all-time favorites. And now for him to have thought that this was a criticism, you're exactly right. Now, do I think that Jeff Hafley, after one good year in his only year as an NFL defensive coordinator, remember, he has not been a coordinator in the NFL before. He was a coordinator at Ohio State. He was a head coach at BC. Do I think he's going to get a head coaching job after one good year, which is not even over, by the way? And they could have injuries and suddenly their defense isn't as good as you thought. But if they get to the Super Bowl, you're exactly right. That's what leads to guys getting opportunities. And so if somehow he does, it's funny because I was just saying this on WTMJ, that somehow if Hafley gets that opportunity and Saleh's not ready or he doesn't get a second head coaching shot right away, you've got him right there waiting in the wings to work with one of his best friends in the world. And, by the way, it wouldn't be a big change if, and again, let me be clear, no one's trying to get rid of Hafley here. In fact, I'm working on a big story for next Sunday going into the Lions game about how much his players have responded to him. But if somehow he were to get that head coaching job and it somehow ended up being Saleh that replaced him, he basically runs Saleh's scheme with a few different wrinkles that he's come up with himself. So it would also allow them to segue into a new coordinator with largely the same system. So that all makes sense. There's a long way to go before that's any measure of concern, but I do not see any downside whatsoever to Robert Saleh doing whatever he is doing for the Packers. There's no doubt in my mind there are coordinators in the league that would be completely insecure and upset about his presence, no matter what LaFleur said about, he's just going to work with the offense. He's not going to meddle in the defense. The insecurity would come out. But with Jeff Hafley, I believe him when he says how close their relationship is with each other and how it won't be an issue.
And honestly, my idea came from the team that I follow, and they've done it twice with coordinators. Matt Nagy never called plays for the Chiefs, but one year he was listed as their offensive coordinator. The next year, the Bears hired him as their head coach. So you had only been a coordinator 1 year and never called plays. But the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. The Colts wanted Nagy. The Bears wanted it. They got him. Adam Gase left Chicago after 1 year of being an OC because he made Jay Cutler not look horrible. He got hired immediately in Miami. And let's be honest, this Packers defense has looked pretty pedestrian for a long time. So if it somehow looked elite, that could help Hafley as well. So that's kind of where I kind of came to it, is that I've seen guys be a coordinator one season and get promoted right up to head coach if they interview well.
You're right. I think those guys from Philly, too, after they won the Super Bowl, remember that? And Sirianni lost both his offensive and defensive coordinators, Gannon and Steichen. That's the kind of stuff that happens. There's no doubt about it.
Jason, I just want to flip to the Badgers game real quick. We talked about that basically being a very sexy game between Wisconsin and Penn State versus the unsexy game between the Packers and Jacksonville. So I'm curious, when you were covering the Badgers, what was the quote-unquote sexiest game that you ever covered?
Well, I covered the '93 Rose Bowl. I had a perm, a really good look.
Oh, so very sexy then.
I think I got that picture somewhere. I'll have to send it so you guys can put it on social. But my senior year my freshman year was Alvarez's first year, and my senior year when I was at the Badger Herald and writing for the Milwaukee Journal and the Capital Times was when they went to the Rose Bowl, and so. They didn't have, there weren't rivalries, right? Like, there was the Minnesota rivalry and the Axe and whatever else. But Wisconsin had been so bad for so long, there weren't a lot of sexy games. Like, I just remember sitting in the student section my freshman year and everybody throwing cups at each other and shouting profanity between the two sections and thinking, this is what I've dreamed of my whole life. Like, I was a Badger fan starting when I was 4 years old. I dreamed of sitting at Camp Randall Stadium, and I've got them saying, eat blank, blank you, and I'm just trying to watch the damn game. And then I, became a sport, got my opportunity with the Badger Herald, and I was in the press box the rest of the time. But there have certainly been, I covered a lot of the games until probably 2002 or 3, helping out Tom Mulhern and the rest of our Badger writers back then. But this in Oregon, man, for home games, obviously Ohio State is always sexy. Here's my problem. I'm a little nervous. That, they struggled with Alabama, who subsequently lost. They struggled with USC, who lost to Minnesota, of all people. And now they've beaten 3 teams that I'm not sure any of them are all that good. I'm a little leery of getting my hopes up that they're going to beat the third-ranked team in the country at home. I hope that's true, because that would make a hell of a story, and then that would make that Oregon game, if Oregon stays on its current track, really, really interesting in a few weeks. But I don't, I'm not the color analyst for the Badgers radio network, so I can say this. I don't feel great about this. I hope it's a really good game, and I hope they find a way to win it in the end, but I don't have a super great positive feeling for this one.
Well, we're going to counteract you with Riley, who I think has the Badgers winning by at least double figures.
Yeah, at least 10, Jason. Braden Locke going to throw 3 touchdowns, no picks. I think the Badgers, they have everything they want to accomplish this season in front of them still. I think they could make the playoff. What do you say to that, Jason?
I love your youthful optimism. But to that, I would say, in the great words of Molly Brown, what's up with that? What's up with that?
Good one.
All right. Well, we'll have to see. I do see a local, and I'll share it on the other side. A local sports personality made it to freezing cold takes 15 minutes ago. Maybe it'll be Riley. Maybe it'll be Jason on the take from this game from the Badgers. So, Jason, thanks so much for the time.
All right, everybody, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. Our friends at Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and Middleton. They're Madison's custom jeweler. You can get jewelry fixed. I mean, they fixed up Matt Hamilton's gold medal. They've also fixed up pieces of jewelry for the Rutledge family, for the Tauscher family. You can get watches there, engagement rings. Greg Scalzo's picked up his engagement ring and wedding band at Chalmers Jewelers. It's where ESPN Madison shops. Chalmers Jeweler in Madison and in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Get ready for a hard-nosed battle on Saturday. Mark Tauscher joined ESPN Madison's Jim, Matt, and Molly and believes Penn State's front line will give Wisconsin a huge test. Tauscher's insight on how the Badgers can come out on top.
if we're going to pull off this upset, it's going to be on those guys' backs, and giving Tawee Walker some good opportunities to run this football effectively, it's going to be on the guys up front. I think the O-line's challenge is going to be really big this week, and hopefully they're up to the task.
Palace Windows and Doors feature durable materials, custom colors, and innovative features like shades between the glass. Get 0% interest for up to 36 months at PalaWI.com.
Just announced 1.99% APR on select new 2024 Audis. Eligible models include Q5s, e-trons, and more. Or you can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. All offers require qualified credit through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for details. Offer ends October 31st, 2024. Stop in and test drive today. Check out AudiMadison.com to see current inventory and specials. Start your adventure at Audi Madison today, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
If you're looking for a way to stay hydrated and energized, just keep it simple with Water Joe. 2 simple ingredients. That's right, water and caffeine. You get the help to staying hydrated and that extra boost of energy that we all need. No sugar, no additives, no off flavors. Just great tasting water with caffeine to give you a boost. That's all. Next time you want some healthy, clean energy to get you through the day, hydrate and energize with Water Joe. Find Water Joe at your local Pick and Save and Metro Market locations today.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Winter athletes, how are you getting prepared for the upcoming season? Total Athlete Performance is here to take your game to the next level. TAP will get you prepared with individualized speed and strength training sessions available in both the Verona and DeForest locations, as well as remote options. Since 2017, TAP has been providing elite performance training in the Madison area to help every athlete become the best version of themselves. Sign up for your free assessment at tapwisconsin.com. That's tapwisconsin.com.
ESPN Madison is your new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
That's a statement win for Wisconsin. Every single night, 7,000 plus, and they are in your face.
From early season showdowns to a run for the national title. Catch every match this season on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Wisconsin's where it's at.
Let's go see how high we can go.
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Coors Light, Ridgetop Exteriors, Goodman's Jewelers, Carbon World Health, and North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
Heads up, athletes, coaches, and parents. Play for life, not just points. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM, is the leading cause of sudden cardiac death, especially in black athletes in sports like football or basketball. Learn more at heart.org/HCM student athlete.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Fish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
When I jumped off, I had a bucket full of thoughts. When I first jumped off, I held that bucket in my hand. Ideas that would take me all around the world. I stood and watched the smoke behind the
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Ben Bruss stuck his head in. He could have come in and said hello.
You guys could have fought on the air.
You can ask Riley. Riley can throw an invite out to him real quick if he wants to. This is Jim, Matt, and
chase
Molly.
him down quick.
We are presented by Coors Light. If the Mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush. Coors Light.
And
Riley,
yes.
get better.
He was trying to
It's okay. He was trying to do his job.
Yeah, I threw two
I'll be
things
back.
at him at
That's
once there.
fair.
But he's going to go see if Ben Bruss wants to join, because I feel bad. We kind of shortchanged him when he popped in right
We
before we were
did.
coming back on the air. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. And again, we are presented by Coors Light, live from the Everlight Solar Studio. And we did have some fun questions for people, but Ben Bruss did join me on the jump around on Thursday to talk some Badger football. And we could talk some Badger football with him, but we can ask Ben the question, because Ben is a alum of Wisconsin, and there's a lot of juice for this game. I think he graduated. He at least matriculated at Wisconsin long enough to graduate, but I do believe he has a degree. And obviously, Ben's a big Packer fan now. So we were asking this question as Ben Bruss joins the show as KBN wraps up. Ben, we were asking this question, what game has more juice? The Badgers, Penn State, night game, Camp Randall in the state. Because the Packers versus Jacksonville is kind of like a Sunday afternoon. The weather's nice, probably one of the last nice days of the year. They should be able to handle Jacksonville with real ease. And there's a lot on the line for the Badgers, not much on the line for the Packers.
I don't know what the results have been, but I mean, it's hard to imagine that the Badgers wouldn't be winning this poll if it's a poll. I mean, the Badgers are coming off 3 straight wins where they've given everyone a reason to be roped in. And when you go from something where there was that sustained success word that everyone probably got sick of hearing, but you start to appreciate it a little more when it's gone. Mm-hmm. Now that there's an opportunity to have like a signature win, right? Like, what is Luke Fickell's signature
Doesn't
win?
have one.
Exactly.
Yep.
So this wouldn't be a signature win for the Green Bay Packers. This is they need to take care of business.
Yeah.
And it could be not a signature win for Matt LaFleur, but when they play the Lions, that's juicy. I mean, that is real juice. Yeah. This is juice. Camp Randall, night game, number 3 team in the country, whether you think they're fraudulent or not. That's what the ranking is now. You can only play who's in front of you.
Yep.
And this is the most I've been excited for a Badger football or even Badger sporting event in a long time.
Yeah, there's a ton of juice to it. I'm super excited about it. I do want to ask if you have a time where you might have an old take exposed, because Freezing Cold Takes 23 minutes ago put out one from our good friend Tom Oates. From 12/26/21, win over the Browns puts it in clear focus. If the Packers are stupid enough to let Aaron Rodgers get out of Green Bay after this season or next, they'll be sentenced to many years of Baker Mayfield level quarterbacking, which is wrong on so many levels because now Baker's good and obviously Jordan Love is good. So
wrong.
Like, it's layered in its wrongness. So it's a special sort of wrong. I don't know if you guys have a bad take of yourselves that you can bring up.
I would say it's not necessarily bad take. Maybe it's like that, like sometimes I'm too honest and it hurts feelings. And I think you would understand that, Jim. You're pretty blunt.
Yeah.
But I'll be completely honest. I do know and feel from the time that I talked about Paul Christ when he was struggling after the pandemic season in 2021. Like, it was frustrating as a Badger fan, and I was very emotional because I loved how much I loved the Wisconsin Badgers. And when Brett Bielema came to town, even before that with Washington State. And I know obviously the quarterback is Cam Ward for Washington State, but they were still Washington State. Mm-hmm. And protecting Camp Randall against a non-conference opponent was something that was expected of the program. So when I started feeling expectations and productivity and everything we imagined as what we expect as Badger fans shift, and then getting, kind of dominated the line of scrimmage and losing creativity, and it just sat with me wrong, and I got hot. And I was not happy with the product, and I went on Twitter Live, which was a thing back then, right directly after the Illinois game. And I know that upset some people and still probably hold it against me in the University of Wisconsin Athletic Department. That's their choice. He was fired after that game, so. Yeah, but that's the weird
Ben Bruss
thing.
got Paul Chris fired.
The joke of Ben Bruss getting
Paul
Paul
Chris
Chris
saying
fired.
more of they thought the same thing as you.
But that's what I'm saying. I get really confused of Ben got Chris fired, ha ha ha. But I'm the bad guy for saying how I felt, but then the actions of the athletic department actually echoed how I felt, and I'm the bad guy still. I don't get that part, but I understand if you want to be frustrated as hey, you were a Badger, you put the blood, sweat, and tears with the jersey, you know how the university operates. I get all that, but also I wanted to be real about how I felt, because I know at that specific point, the reason why it went so viral, so to speak, is because it echoed a lot of what people's feelings were.
So, Molly, is your bad take the one you plagiarized, or
I
what
was going
take
to
is
say
yours?
the only bad take that I have, because I don't have bad takes. I just plagiarize them, so I don't have an example of a bad one. Sorry.
I definitely had bad takes.
So the one that comes to mind
I'm
is
never wrong. Just
I
like
don't
Jim,
remember
I'm never
my
wrong.
specific take on it, but I was not a believer in Russell coming to Wisconsin. I did not think he was going to be anything close to what he was, and honestly, I thought he'd be pedestrian.
I got it.
So is that from 15 years ago? Like, Jesus, when was he here? I'm not.
It was a pretty
I'm
bad
not making
take.
an
I'll
old
never
joke.
forget
I'm
it.
just saying,
He
like,
threw 38 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Like, I thought he'd be the same
unbelievable.
quarterback at Wisconsin that he was at NC State, which was fine. But I didn't think I was pretty clear. I was like, this isn't going to be a game changer.
Oh, I mean, like, what led me to the whole, like, Green Bay Packer fan hating me thing of going up to Lambeau Field at our great houses of the Tundra Trio was, I'll be completely honest, I knew Aaron Rodgers was toxic, but I didn't think his toxicity was to the level that he still wouldn't be able to help the New York Jets overcome not even making the playoffs, which they still haven't done in the longest drought of the NFL of making the playoffs. So mine wasn't, didn't think he was going to win a Super Bowl with the Jets. Yeah. I thought he was going to be good enough to elevate the lowly New York Jets to the playoffs. And now they're throwing the kitchen sink, and they still might not be able to do that. So that one's bad, because I was just trying to have some fun with the fact that, like, I also didn't realize, like, I know when Favre left, right? Like, there was still, like, a contingent of the Jesse Nelsons and all the people who grew up with Favre following him, buying jerseys. Nobody in this world in today's age, with the polarization of how he spoke and threw teammates under the bus, however you feel politically, like, this world we live in, people just want to be mad.
Oh, yeah.
And wearing an Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey to Packers training camp and then acting like a child. Like, so I don't know if you guys know the origin of, like, what my mind went to when I was wearing that jersey and I wanted LaFleur to sign it.
Well, share it.
Enlighten us, yes.
I was on a big Impractical Jokers kick. And so the way that show works is they do a bunch of bits together. There's 4 of them, and there's a punishment at the end. And you have to finish the punishment. Like, if they tell you to do something, in order to be done with the punishment, you have to do it. One of them is so funny because the guy goes to Sal goes to a casino and they play bingo. And he had to yell bingo every time a new number came, and the old people are yelling at him, get him out of here. And he would, like, bingo, you know? And so, like, I just was like, I'm going to act like a child. And I'm going to make sure, no matter what, that I, like, almost in a way bully Matt LaFleur to signing my jersey. And people didn't find my Impractical Joker, Ben Bruss, make Matt LaFleur sign the Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey, like, childish humor. Go.
I wonder why.
Before I let you go, and Riley's fixing the brakes here, we asked a question, but it's perfect for you. Those last week when Tony Bennett stepped aside, and it's not even about, like, replacing guard or anything like that. It was, who's the best Wisconsin-born basketball coach? Here's what: there's Nate Oates, Shaka Smart, great guard, Rick Majerus, and Tony Bennett. I think were the names that we came up with. Out of that group, you can talk about any of them, but it's a hell of a group of Wisconsin-born college basketball coaches.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really do like Shaka and everything, like, that he is building and how he goes about his coaching style. But, I mean, his lack of tournament success, like, it's just a thing. Like, I can't choose him. I understand what he did at VCU, but once you go to a big school like Texas, and then now you have Marquette, where all of your resources go to one thing. You're not splitting between football and basketball. It is basketball there. Can't go there. Majerus had an unbelievable career. Did he ever win?
I think he got Final Four. I think all these guys were Final Fours.
So you got to go Bennett. You really do. Despite the 1-16 loss, like, they came back and won a national championship. And although it might be boring and the way they played, you have to have an appreciation of what he was as a player, and then getting it done at the college level. Guards lacking that sort of next step in the NCAA tournament.
And, like, Bennett won a lot of conference titles in the ACC, which is not easy to do.
Correct. Duke and UNC are there, and they were powerhouses. They went through a little transition, but now with NIL and all the funds,
they're right back at it.
I mean, goodness gracious, they're going to be tough.
Well, Ben, thanks for popping. You popped in right before the show was starting, and I was like, you know what? Let's bring him in because I don't want it to be weird.
I wanted to talk about our beef.
Oh, okay.
And my lack of fandom.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to fight, actually.
Well, there's no.
But now that you're here, you guys are like friends.
Well, it's a bit, but, like,
is it?
Well, obviously Ben knows that, like, it's weird to be a Packer, like, but Ben's someone that wants to be, like, we're different in this. Ben wants and likes to be liked. I don't care if I'm liked or not. So I get, like, Ben's not the first person.
He says that, but he goes home and talks to his wife on Pillow Talk.
Well,
and says, they were mean to me.
You came into the office today and you were like, what can I do to Jim since I live so rent-free in his mind? You were asking the office for opinions.
We're both rent-free in each other.
There you go. Yes. So,
Look,
yeah.
Look, I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Look, I was a Bears fan. Yes,
Yes.
like I was. Like, there's no
Mark
doubt
that.
about it. I was.
That's how Ben and I first started chatting.
But that's
was
the
about
thing.
Bears.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I'm hurt.
Twitter
is that my
DMs
connection with Ben is dead now.
So wait,
And now he's got other teammates in our company as we continue to grow that somehow are Bears fans everywhere, and he just hangs out with them now and talks with them and dwells in group chats with them.
so what made you become a quote-unquote Packers fan?
Well, when you play at the University of Wisconsin, it's all the same fans that were rooting for you that root for the Packers. Now, the Packers are a little bit bigger than Wisconsin, but for the majority, when you go into a tavern in Bumble Bleep, wherever in Wisconsin, and people are coming up to you, a lot of times they'll be like, hey, I loved you with the Badgers, and they're wearing a Aaron Rodgers jersey at the time, right?
Yep.
And so like, I just have an appreciation for the people that appreciated me, and I also chose to live here, right? Like there are so many people that move to a city that were fans that become fans of that team based off where they begin their life and have kids. And that's where I'm at. I wouldn't say I'm like a diehard Packer fan, but I'll root for them.
You are like the biggest. No, because I was just on
Jim
your
Rutledge,
show
he's
last
fake
week,
tough.
and then you're like, "Oh, Packers are going to the Super Bowl, right? You get beads if you say that they're going to the Super Bowl."
Yeah,
and then I
'cause
said, I don't know if they will.
Is that an HR violation? Offering you
no,
beads?
I said there's other ways to get beads.
I said,
that was probably
you don't
the-
have to do anything for them.
okay.
Just say, yes, I will
Okay.
accept these
Gotcha.
beads like
Gotcha.
a rose from The Bachelor.
And I said, well, there's other ways of getting beads, and I'm not going to say that the Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl and win.
You'd
the Super
rather
Bowl.
go the other way. Okay, gotcha.
I mean, it's the easier way at this
Okay.
point. At this point in the season.
And let's be honest,
Like,
guys.
that's why Molly does not have bad takes, because she'd rather flash you than give you a bad
not
take.
bad, not bad. Savage.
Stop it.
People, I'm getting uncomfortable.
My
I'm
favorite
sweating.
team
Stop.
is who I bet on. That's what it comes down to.
Do you bet on your own teams though? Like, do you
of
make bets
course.
on the Packers? You do?
Of course. But I would say like, again, the NFL, like, I just love football.
Mm-hmm.
My teams are the Wisconsin Badgers football program. I really like have gone for, like, I was a Cubs fan. I was totally a Cubs fan. But since I've lived in Milwaukee, it is part of like my everyday life. I love the Brewers, and it's kind of cool to now like say like, and you can appreciate this, Jim, as a long-term Bears fan, you are living through not winning a Super Bowl since '85.
Yep.
I now can say, no matter when I joined rooting for the Milwaukee Brewers, that when they do win the World Series, I have proclaimed that I am a Brewers fan.
Yep.
I'll say like, the Packers I root for. I wouldn't even say I'm a fan of
So,
them.
like, the Brewers I actually understand, because baseball to me is just nowhere close to the stakes of football. Like, I only ill will I have is like Brewer fans who like they take more joy out of like Craig Counsell losing than their team winning. Those are the only Brewer fans that I gave any crap
Isn't
to.
that literally your show?
That's Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. My brother is not like that, so I left him alone. Like when the Brewers lost, I didn't bother my brother for a couple of days, and then I checked in.
I legitimately, Jim, was rocking my baby as she was teething in the middle of the night. And I was at the game that Sal Frelick hit the home run to go up 2-0, and I'm thinking to myself, like, that's a moment. It was actually my birthday, October 3rd, and I was with my fiance in the stands, and it was like a cool moment as a family. And then she actually went to high school with Devin Williams' fiance, and so we invited her to come sit with us.
Oh, wow, okay.
Thank God she didn't come sit with us.
Right, yeah.
Because that would have been hell.
Yes. But those are the moments, and that makes sense. And again, baseball to me is so different. But yeah, as your family grows into it, that makes a lot of sense too. And yeah, baseball is one of those. Like the Bulls, I've checked out on. I'm full on the Bucks. And
you did what I did with the Packers.
Exactly,
Look.
but it's basketball. It's not this. It's just honestly, it's the football.
Yeah. Football's king.
Because it's like an emotion to it. But also like the Brewers, like. My dad's a White Sox fan, but I was like, I want to root for a team I can see, an American League team when I grew up, because that's what they were, and a National League team. So I was the Cubs at WGN, and I go to a million Brewer games. The Brewers flipped. I didn't flip. The Brewers flipped from American League to National League. That's what because otherwise there was no rivalry.
Yeah,
it was the Brewers White
This is the
Sox.
best part about sports. You can be whoever you want to be.
Sure.
Like the international man of mystery of who you root for in the NFL.
Yeah, go Chiefs. I don't have to do that this year, which is nice.
Go Cardinals.
Arizona?
Yeah, because I have an Arizona connection. That's it. Oh, yeah, not St. Louis. No.
Are you still rattled from the whole beads conversation?
Me?
Yeah.
Slightly. Slightly uncomfortable.
Well, great. All right, this is thanks, Ben. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
No beads for you.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's Fall Workwear event is going on now. We've got unbeatable deals on quality boots and apparel to help your hard-earned dollars go further. Like men's Dickies Rugged Flex Pants, $5 off. Shop our new assortment of Brunt work boots in-store now. Get $30 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 you spend on Carhartt gear. See store for details. Plus, shop unbeatable toy deals in Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland, now open.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Forget about the front row. The best seat and the best place to be on game day is Off-Broadway Draft House for all the sports. Check out our new game day menu with tostado nachos and featuring $2 hams on tap. Those specials are available all day on Saturdays and Sundays. Find out firsthand why Off-Broadway Draft House was Madison's People's Choice winners for favorite bar, wait staff, and more. Game day, any day. Discover what others already know. Off-Broadway Draft House. Come for the beer, stay for the food.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, including one featured dive bar that will offer $2 High Lifes and High Life Lights for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like the Pub at Pleasant Springs, London Depot, Wilson's Bar, and Pitcher's Pub.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Sports Center updates on 100.5 ESPN are brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison. Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's gonna swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
I don't know, but basically we rode up to the Viking game last year, got sick.
Murr.
It's Murr.
I'm the pyramid's Murr.
He's not just a basic Bears fan.
It's just not the time or place.
How does a radio station in a Green Bay market have a host who is a diehard Chicago Bear fan? It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Unbelievable.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. And thanks to Ben Brust for hopping into the show. I think we've squashed our beef, maybe. What do you think?
I think you guys are good friends.
Yes. It is sad I don't get to text with Ben as much about the Bears. We had a little bit of stuff with, I think Jordan Taylor was a big Vikings fan and Goss a big Packer fan. So, we'd have some fun if those teams lost, and we'd message on Twitter when it was a normal, nice site in the DMs. So
you guys would DM each other. So cute.
Yes, I was actually. That's how I made friends as a reporter. Melvin Gordon, Ben Brust, Jordan Taylor,
cool.
Kenzel Doe. I'm trying to think of some other people that John Lure. I was I tried to be the cool guy. I reported nothing and I didn't write anything, but I could at least be friends with them.
Wait, so what did you do? Did you just go and hang out with him?
He just went to the bar with him.
Yeah.
Drank Coors Lights with him.
At that point, I was too old. When I was down in Florida, I hung out with the guys more. Like Lonzo Booker, I went, like, he was from Florida State, but he was close to my age when he played with the Dolphins. I definitely hung out with him a couple times. There was, then I got Ted Ginn and Daquan Cook, and I saw them out, and they said, "What's up?" I ran into Chris Volstad, a pitcher for the Miami Marlins back in the day. He was out at Palm Beach Gardens. I had some drinks with him covering the team. So it was much more of like, but otherwise now, like I've said this story before, the first human being that texted me after the Chicago Cubs won the World Series was Melvin Gordon. Like the second they won it, because he knew I was a Cubs fan.
That's a good flex.
I was going to say, that's got to make you feel pretty good, right?
On many levels. One, I was like, I'm glad I stand out as the Cubs fan he knew. Like, that's why I got that text is like, I know a Cubs fan and it's Jim. Like, you know, like you got to be the one. And, like, you have the built-in advantage of he's in Wisconsin, he's from Wisconsin, how many Cubs fans does he know?
Right.
He knows this one. So, like, that's part of it, too.
Okay.
But I would say that my whole thing was, like, that how you could get information was more of, like, if you didn't always ask them the inane questions of, like, hey, what happened on the missed three-pointer? What do you think happened? I didn't line it up right. You know,
I missed it.
You won't miss a good time at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Go there for their Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl happy hour. And you can go there and get Coors Light, get some fried calamari, get yourself the steak sandwich. Plenty of great options at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. It's time now to play Don't Quote Me.
We're not saying it's gonna happen.
Let it ride!
But if it does, then we want credit.
Say that again, because that is an amazing take.
I told you all.
If not, well...
Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said...
Alrighty, guys, time for a little Don't Quote Me. And let's start off with a special video from the regular producer of this show, the one and only primetime Ryan Wollersheim.
He left a video?
He did. He recorded this video in his car. So without further ado, here is... One sec. Let me get this up on the screen.
Didn't show up for the show today, but, I'm going to show up for Don't Quote Me. And Don't Quote Me, the Packers going against one of the worst defenses in the league, the Jacksonville Jaguars. But they still have one of the most elite defenders in the league, former Packer Darnell Savage. This is his revenge game, so I'm predicting that Jordan Love extends his interception streak and that Darnell Savage is the one who gets the interception on Love. But I also think the Packers offense is going to hum in this game. They're putting up their first 40-burger of the season. Packers score 40 points, and Jordan Love throws a pick to Darnell Savage.
That's savage. Pun intended. Savage. Obviously.
All right.
But legit, I would...
That's not horrible.
How pissed off would you be, though, if he intercepted Jordan Love?
Yeah, that would not be ideal. Not be ideal.
I'd be mad.
Especially given the article. I don't know if you guys tune into Mr. Irrelevant ever, but that was one of the topics of conversation today, that the Packers are terrified of elite safety Darnell Savage. So I think that's where Ryan is drawing that from.
Is he elite? I feel like I haven't heard his name very much.
He didn't do much against the Bears.
Was he with the Bills
That's
last year?
when I watched them play. He was with the Packers last year, wasn't he?
No. He wasn't with the Packers last year, was he?
Was it just last year?
Who am I thinking of that went to the Bills?
Micah Hyde. He's
no,
good. He was
not
elite.
Micah Hyde. Not Micah Hyde. Go Hawks. I'll Google it.
Anyways, I believe Darnell Savage was on the Packers last year.
Really? I thought it was 2 years ago, but
I thought so, too.
I'll be honest. I can't remember. Matt Hamilton also texted in his Don't Quote Me.
No, Jim's right.
Okay,
Oh, wait,
wow.
no. Wait. It says Jacksonville Jaguars 2024 to present. Green Bay Packers 19 to 23.
Yes.
So,
Okay, yeah, so last year.
So who's the one that went to the Bills?
Micah Hyde.
No. Guys, that was 10 years ago. Literally, that was 10 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna do my research.
Alrighty. Well, Matt
you're
Hamilton.
thinking of Rasul Douglas.
Rasul Douglas.
Traded to
got
the Bills.
traded.
Yeah, exactly.
You said went to.
Same thing. He's
That's
on the
not-
Bills.
He was sent to.
Same thing.
He didn't went, he sent.
And then he did good there.
Of course. They got a
Continue.
third-round pick for it. So is that one of the linebackers? Was that Cooper that they got? No, Cooper was second round. Was that Williams? Evan Williams they got for them?
Maybe. I'm not sure. It seems like a worthy trade
I was
if
gonna
we
say,
ended
not
up
bad.
with Evan Williams. But Matt Hamilton texted in his Don't Quote Me, which is that Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness will both get a sack this weekend.
That's interesting. I think Lawrence is hard to sack. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I don't
just
have any
feel-
numbers on
but
it
he's
at
like,
present.
He's mobile, but he's not like Kyler Murray mobile, but he moves around the pocket. He can make some plays. Man, I'm trying to figure out my don't quote me here.
I have one.
Well, go ahead,
Molly, we'll start with you.
So we all know, and this is a good one for Matt Hamilton, that Josh Jacobs had his first receiving touchdown last week. My prediction, my don't quote me, is that Josh Jacobs will have 2 receiving touchdowns this week against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow. 2 receiving touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. Okay.
Bet.
I think, that's a good hot take. That's out there. And for the record, Trevor Lawrence has been sacked 15 times this season. So he's been sacked a good amount.
Yeah, that's actually. I think then just the Bears didn't get him much.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like they did though. Maybe I just missed it.
Is it weird that I feel more confident in Rashawn Gary getting a sack on Trevor Lawrence than I do Lucas Van Ness?
No, I mean Rashawn Gary's getting paid to get multiple sacks per game.
Yeah, but we all know that he's not living up to his paycheck. So
true.
Jim,
do you need more time? I
No.
can give mine.
Well, go ahead and give yours.
Alrighty. In the meantime, my don't quote me of the week is I already kind of spoiled it when we talked with Jason. Tried to give a Braden Locke prediction last week, a little
400 yards.
400 yards, a little far-fetched. This time, a little more contained, but still out there. Braden Locke, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions this week. No yardage predictions, but I think he throws 3 tutters, no INTs. I think he can get it done.
3 touchdowns.
Badgers win 31-21 over Penn State. I'm going to put that in my prediction as well.
Double digits.
Yep.
I want to find my score prediction.
I will say the Jaguars at times could really put up some points on some teams, and I could see them putting up points on this Packers defense and maybe feeling themselves a little bit, like 25-30, since they've scored 30 a few times. But my don't quote me is going to be that Christian Watson is going to have 130-plus yards receiving with, I guess we got to be bold with it, so I'll go 2 touchdowns.
Christian Watson.
I wouldn't
Did you
be
say
mad.
130 yards with 2 touchdowns?
Yep.
Okay. That's a hot take.
I also just picked up a fantasy, and I really need him to do something since Godwin went down.
I didn't put Puka Nacua in last night because I was like, he's not going to do anything.
That's all 3 of us then.
Yeah, I played DJ Moore instead of Puka, so I got a chance. We'll see what he does against Washington. But I was like, do I play DJ or do I play Puka? I felt okay. Any other player, I would have put Puka in there, but I was like, because otherwise I have Jefferson and some other great receiver. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I will say this. I'm insulted by that. Someone tried to offer me, when Godwin went down, offer me Cooper Kupp for Derrick Henry. I was like, God,
whoa,
get out of here. This is insulting. Like this, and
Throw
Cooper
it in.
was just cleared too.
Yep.
So let me just trade for this off-injured receiver for a bell cow running back.
Yeah, at least throw in like a mid-tier running back in there
yes,
as well.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
something.
And also, my team's not loaded with backs, so I would just not even solve one problem and create another. It was not a good option. What is a good option is the Boca Bowl, and Coors Light wants to send you to the Boca Bowl, and you can have that opportunity. All you have to do is buy Coors Light at one of these great locations in the Madison area, including Draft House, Paoli Pub, Skinny Bar, and Red Zone. Just buy a Coors Light, and you are entered to win hotel voucher, club tickets to the Boca Bowl on Wednesday, December 18th. Airfare included. Winners will be announced on Wisconsin College Game Day, Friday, November 29th. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? At MadisonWeightLoss.com, we know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day naturally, safely, and effectively without counting points or calories. No exercising, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no injections, no drugs or surgery. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now.
Hi, it's Jesse Nelson. I was able to drop 40 pounds in 60 days. All I had to do was change up my diet, and thanks to expert coaching and guidance from Madison Weight Loss, I was able to achieve the weight loss goal I set as the best possible outcome from when I began the program. Trust me, if you follow the program, Madison Weight Loss really works.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or 2. That's up to a pound per day. For your free private phone consultation, call 608-774-7241 or go to MadisonWeightLoss.com. Our staff will walk you through our entire program, talk about your health goals, and see if it's a good fit for you. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now. Results may vary.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Ness Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Ness Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from my friends at Door County Distillery. It's fall, which means you need to treat yourself right with the apple brandy. Whether you're mixing up a mule or making a Halloween-flavored drink, Door County Distillery has you covered with their delicious, award-winning apple brandy. And if brandy's not your thing, Door County Distillery has a great array of whiskeys, vodkas, gin, rums, and more. Check out their website, doorcountydistillery.com, for the retailer nearest you, as well as a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. That's doorcountydistillery.com.
From color-changing Alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. It is a Friday, Fish Friday here on ESPN Madison. And get into the show, 844-770-3776. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, especially during that Packer game. Packer game's boring. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. They'll have the game on somewhere there. And you can be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. It's Friday. Normally we throw stones, but on a Friday, we go pole dancing.
And you answered.
What?
Coming to the stage, it's pole dancing on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Hey now.
Presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Alrighty. Let's start with a poll from none other than Jason Wilde himself. This is an unauthorized Wilde and Tausch poll question. He hinted at this when he was on earlier today. How do you pronounce Jaguars? Jaguars or Jaguars?
Jason Wilde says it wrong. Jason Wilde says Jaguars. I say Jaguars.
Jaguars, yeah.
That's
Jaguar.
interesting.
That's how you that's how they say it for the car. Jaguar. Haven't you ever heard the commercials?
That's interesting. Not in a long time.
No, I don't think that there are Jaguar commercials.
Like on TV, they'd be like, "Go get yourself a Jaguar."
You know,
they say it how a Jaguar would say it. I don't know. The Jabberwocky? I don't know.
Jabberwocky. That's the dance group, right?
No, it's Alice in Wonderland.
Jabberwockies?
Jabberwocky? A Jawa from Star Wars?
No. Do you know those dancers?
No.
You guys know what I'm... Jabberwockies. Jabberwockies? They're in 2K.
Jabberwocky is a nonsense poem written by Lewis Carroll.
Look up Jabberwockies.
It was included in the 1871 novel Through the Looking Glass, a sequel to Alice in Wonderland.
Interesting.
That's how I know it.
Look up the Jabberwockies dance crew. That's a thing. And they were on the not 24 2K. They were on the 23 2K. They were the halftime performance in 2K.
Okay. Interesting.
Bet.
I'm going to take your word for it.
Jabberwockies.
What?
Different. Jabberwockies.
Now we're just getting into
semantics.
EEZ. That's all.
That's a cool way of spelling it.
Well, regardless, I agree with Jason. I pronounce it Jaguars. And
that just sounds like painful coming out of your mouth.
Jaguars. Not when you say it fast. Jaguars. Like, I don't know. That's how it's spelled.
Wrong.
And if you look at the poll that he put out, Jaguars 72.6%, Jaguars 27.4%. Over 1,000 votes on that poll. Too.
I'm pretty sure that Jason posts that poll every time that the Packers play the Jaguars.
That's possible.
I'm
I know
not
I've talked
kidding.
with Brad Nortman about this before. He's on your guys' team with the Jaguars, but...
And he played for them, so he's right. Which means we're right.
I'm a disagree. But moving on to the second poll from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. How many times have you run out of gas while driving?
None. I've been close one time. And I was very nervous because I was trying to do the whole, okay, I'm going to try to make it to the cheaper gas station because it's going to save me, what is it going to save me, $2? I don't even know if it's that much.
It's the principle, though.
It is the principle. So my thing, my old car, it got down to like 12 miles. Then all of a sudden, it just turns like red and flashing. I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to run out on 151 right now. I'm going to run out. So then I pulled over, and this is ridiculous, but I pulled over at Quick Trip, and I got gas. I got a little bit of gas because I was like, okay, I'll just get a little bit of gas here, and then I'll make it to the Costco gas station. The Costco gas station was the same price as the Quick Trip gas station, so I was pissed.
That was rare.
I was so
I have
mad.
not run across that yet.
Yep.
I understand that. Once with the station car.
Oh.
It was an older, it was actually back, it was with me and Tom Lee. I think we went maybe cover Packers or something like that. Tom Lee used to work, works for AmFam now, but used to work with us and cover the Badgers with me. Maybe it was Big Ten. I don't know. We did some sort of road trip together. And it was really about, Tom had parked at my house. I lived in Fitchburg at the time. And I passed a lot of gas stations off the Fish Hatch. But it was one of those, it was a long day. I was like, I just want to get home.
Yep.
And ran out of gas, getting to my, going up the hill towards my house. Luckily I was able to get over. And I think I just went and got it the next day. I just left the car where it was, because I was able to get to a parking spot.
Yep.
So it wasn't that big of a deal, but that's when I actually ran out of gas, and I had to Now the frustrating part was I didn't have a gas container, so I had to go buy one and then fill it up and then walk it back, and then, or probably Tanya drove me, and then I had to put the gas in it. So that was a little bit annoying, but that was the only time I ran out of gas.
Riley, have you?
One time as well. I was coming back. It was in high school. I was working. Did you guys ever work in the cornfields, for one of the big seed corn companies where you pollinate or detassel corn?
I never did that, but I had cousins that did.
Okay, yeah. My parents did it.
That's a Midwestern thing,
yeah,
Jim.
Pollinate corn.
I grew up in the Midwest.
Yes. It's like child labor, but it's legal somehow.
Yep.
I don't know how they get around it. But I was coming back from work after a long day in the cornfields, and I was driving my brother's car, and he...
It's like a horror movie.
Yeah, and I didn't...
Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, Children of the Corn. I didn't realize that the gas was on empty already. He didn't fill up. So negligence on my part, but then I'm halfway home, and I'm pressing the gas pedal, and just nothing's happening. I'm like, what's going on? Did I break this car? And then I'm realizing there's no gas, and I have to pull over. My dad has to come fill the car up with gas. I was pissed at my older brother, but I was only 5 minutes from home. It didn't really matter, but it was fun.
That's my question, though, is what happens when you run out of gas? Does it just die?
Yeah.
Does your car just shut off? What happens?
That car, literally, I was just pressing the gas pedal, and it was just nothing. There was no acceleration. And I was like, what is going on? I was freaking out. It was terrifying.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew I was low on gas. I was like, oh, dang it.
I do not. I do not want to run out of gas. Now I'm scared.
Yeah, would not recommend it. So according to the poll, 0 times leads with 68.5%, 1 to 2 times at 30%. And there are a few people, 3 to 4 times, 1.3%, and 5 times or more. There were a few votes for that, 0.5% of 158.
Definitely you have a problem.
Yeah, that seems like a you issue. Moving on to Kyle Bruston Nortman. Back to sports. The Bucks home opener tonight as they tip off their season. Are they too old to win a title?
They're not too old to win a title. They're too old to be a favorite to win the title, but they're not too old to do it. And we had Evan Cohen on yesterday, and he talked about all the reasons to be excited about the Bucks, and he has them winning the title and Dame winning the MVP, and Evan is on Sportsmanlike, and you can listen back to that interview. Wisconsin The Man, Apple, Spotify, and those great places. Brought to you by our good friends at Revive Restoration. But, with DeLon Wright, and they've added some other players as well. I like this team top to bottom, but the health of the team is a giant. Gary Trent Jr. is another one. Torian Prince. There's just a giant asterisk of Chris Middleton not being able to be the type of player he was, or even close to it, when it matters. Like, I would take, if you could, what the idea floated with Joel Embiid of, like, don't play him to the playoffs. Like, as little as you can play Chris Middleton in the regular season for him to be ready for the playoffs, that's my plan for Chris Middleton for the Bucks. And then just play the other guys, because I do like their overall team. They just have to be healthy.
So you say that about Chris Middleton. What about Giannis?
Because Giannis is more of a style of play thing, though.
But he hasn't played the last 2
2
years of the playoffs. And then what happens?
Can load manage Giannis. He just seems like he's built a little tougher. Like, just load manage him as the season goes on. I don't care if he plays in the last, because the Bucks shouldn't really be competing for a spot. Maybe for that top seed, but that's probably going to go to the Celtics. So just taper him off near the end of the playoffs.
But he's more
not
just the way he
fragile.
plays is the concern. Yes.
Where Chris Middleton feels fragile versus Giannis is just, he's ground and pound, and he's going to take his body to the limit.
If you were doing like cars, like Giannis is the guy that drives the Ferrari at 100 miles per hour at all times. And you're like, geez. And like, you hope he doesn't crash it. Middleton is like the old jalopy where you're just like, can we just, like the old sports car that breaks down all the time. You're like, I just want to get one good race out of you because all the parts are wearing thin.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of surgeries.
Yeah. I think the NBA season needs to be shorter. Like, I think we need, like, and I'm kind of in the same boat as I am with like the MLB. Now, granted, I love the NBA compared to the MLB, but I think that the MLB season with 162 games is way too long. That is ridiculous. And the NBA season with, what is it, 82? 82 games? Way too long. I think you need to cut it down to like 60-some, maybe even more.
And with every playoff series being 7 games, too.
Exactly.
That's a long stretch in the playoffs.
And if you're projecting the Bucks to be one of the top teams that should be making it to series of 5 games, 7 games, whatever it may be, the season should be shorter. I don't know.
I just don't see how it ever happens.
Losing money, yeah.
They're not losing money, though.
I know, that's the thing.
They're never going to lose money.
I know.
It's just a math game of, like, every game makes some money.
It's true, but also you look at the players and the players that are being investigated now and different people in the league that are being investigated due to players' health. Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard.
The easier fix is, like, the players just got to play. Not to be that guy, but, like, Jordan and Kobe and even LeBron earlier in his career, like, they played the games. Like, just play the games.
Yeah.
Like to be that guy completely, Jordan, Bird, Magic, that era, like they weren't even flying. Some of them were flying like commercial, let alone private. Like when Bird and Magic played, there was some teams that had their players flying commercial, and they played back to back. Like now they understand how to take care of their body. They understand they can do cryo and red light and all these other physical, all the training stuff. Plus they get private planes. Plus they don't do back to backs. Like. It is much easier on these players. So, realistically, the solve is like just play the games, man.
Guess we'll see. I hope the Bucks have enough in them for one more run this year. We'll see.
I agree.
Heading into the future, the voting is 63.5% no. They'll be in it. They're not too old, and 36.5% too old. One more from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Wait, doesn't Riley, if you're watching on YouTube, he looks like majestic.
Yeah, like he's an angel.
Yeah, angelic.
The sun is it's his golden hour. Isn't that what it's called?
Someone get a picture of me. I can put it on Instagram.
There you go.
Or your Tinder page.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. You have a girlfriend, don't you? Sorry. So was that an HR violation?
What did you? I
said or a Tinder page.
Oh. That's why I looked at you. I didn't know what you said.
Oh.
And then I was more thrown. You said, "Oh, you have a girlfriend too."
We'll talk in the next break.
Yeah, we'll skip over that.
Jen gave and Chewy, is a soup a meal? Yes or no?
No. I heard this conversation. They basically the whole thing happened with Mark Chamorro went over to somebody's house and then they had soup, like chicken noodle soup and Chardonnay. They had nothing else, like no bread.
What kind of
no nothing? Chicken noodle
like
soup.
A stew? Oh,
chicken noodle soup. That's
so like
it.
my wife makes a homemade chicken noodle soup that's borderline a stew. Like it is like big vegetables, big noodles, big pieces of chicken. It's a homemade chicken noodle soup. It is hearty.
But you don't need like a French bread to dip in it?
There is bread with it still.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And actually, so for kids, like they get a side vegetable too. Like they still have to have like just the celery and carrots don't count, so they have to have the vegetable. But in theory, like I could eat that and be full. But if you have people over, man, I can't. It'd be like a chili or a stew. That's the best you could get away with.
And even then, with like chili, you got to have like cornbread on the side. You got to have something. You have to have something on the side. It cannot just stand alone.
But here's the thing. That still would prove that chicken noodle soup like that is a meal. The problem is they did not, like that is your meal, but you need to have a
supplement.
Yes, an accessory to the meal. Like it can be the meal, but it has to meals can still be served with other things.
Yeah, are we calling it a main dish?
Because
a meal?
Yeah, because like I guess, yeah. Maybe
main dish?
It's a main dish.
Or you could have as an appetizer, you could have like a little cup of it, and then your dinner afterwards.
I think we settled it. It can be a main dish. It's not a meal.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Boom.
Agree.
There we go. Yeah, the poll was split almost 50-50. 52% said no, 48% said yes. Almost 500 people voted in this poll.
Before my wife told me that cans of soup were basically cans of salt, that was my lunch often. You just pour that in a bowl, like Campbell's soup, and then warm it up, and that'd be my lunch. That's a meal, right?
That's what Ryan eats like every day.
It's all salt. You might as well just take the top off one of the salt, like a salt shaker, and pour it in his mouth.
Sounds like a good lunch. Ever have trouble finding your favorite team's game? Well, now there's no more searching and hunting. Where to Watch has you covered. Where to Watch is a new feature that you can find on ESPN.com and on the free ESPN app. Where to Watch is a one-stop shop with one-click access to ESPN network streams and all other networks. Tens of thousands of events across sports and leagues. Access it from any web browsers at ESPN.com/where to watch today. That's ESPN.com/where to watch. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Kick off your weekend with the best fish fry in Madison at Off-Broadway Draft House. Serving all day on Friday starting at 11 a.m., you can enjoy cod, bluegill, perch, and walleye. Wash it all down with an Off-Broadway Draft House old-fashioned or try any of our rotating seasonal tap beers or specialty cocktails. Off-Broadway Draft House, Madison's People's Choice winners for favorite bar, wait staff, and more. Off-Broadway Draft House. Come for the beer. Stay for the food.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Spooktacular savings are happening right now at Metro Ford of Madison. With 212 new vehicles available for purchase, qualified buyers can get 90 days deferred payments. The 24 Ford F-150 is available with 1.9% APR financing for 66 months, $15.54 per thousand borrowed, plus $3,000 total cash. Check out the 24 Ford Mach-E with 1.9 APR financing for 72 months, plus a free EV charger and home installation. Hurry to Metro Ford of Madison today.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
Kyle Walls here from ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Bruston Norman, and football season is back, and you know I'm watching every snap with the Underdog Fantasy Sports app in my hand. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. You make picks for your pick'em entry and choose if a player will go higher or lower when it comes to their stats. Maybe it's Jordan Love higher than 2.5 touchdown passes, or even Tyreek Hill lower than 150 receiving yards. Over 1 million fans got in on the action last season, and it is time for you to jump aboard. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app at UnderdogFantasy.com or sign up using promo code KBN, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code KBN to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Join me this football season and win big. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
There's a clear choice for U.S. Senate. Career politician Tammy Baldwin wasted trillions of dollars and created crushing inflation. Baldwin opened our borders and gave taxpayer benefits to illegal immigrants. And she voted to put men in girls' sports. Businessman Eric Hovde will stop inflation, secure our border, and defend our Wisconsin values.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush
a Coors Light. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I forgot the sound.
That's right. Riley Young behind the glass. Riley's got high hopes for the Badgers on Saturday. He does, Molly, trump my fandom as a Badger fan. Like I am.
You think?
I'm a Badgers fan, but I try to be realistic, and I think they're going to win. Look, my 10 wins is not off the table here.
Oh my God!
True that.
Are we gonna go back to this where after the first 2 games, Jim was like, "I don't know if we're gonna make it happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen." And then he was backtracking and he was like, "I didn't say that they were gonna get 10 wins." And now we're back to they're gonna get 10 wins.
Yes.
They're gonna be in national championship
That's the nice
game.
thing. Like if you are, this is why I'm jealous of Packer fans who stuff. If you're a fan of the teams that everyone else is a fan of, you can just say whatever and flip flop all you want as long as you're flip flopping the way the fans are. It's just easy.
Because everybody agrees with you.
Exactly. Look, most people, unfortunately, this is the problem really across the board, only want to hear things that they want to hear.
True.
Like, it is funny to me, like the caller yesterday, or people are taking it back with, like, a Bears fan is on the radio. Well, what do you mean? Like, I can have opinion. Like, it's not some sort of disorder. Like, you can hear from other people. Like, you can hear dissenting opinions. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm speaking them into existence, but like having a dissenting opinion is okay to hear. I actually prefer it. And again, maybe that's just how you listen to Chicago sports radio. They're all sports fans, it's all Chicago fans, I think, but like they have dissenting opinions. Like my opinions on the Packers are not my fan thoughts on the Packers. Like if you know my fan thoughts on the Packers, you have every right to be mad at me. But you don't know those. But my sports fan or my sports radio guy take on the Packers is, I think, honestly pretty close to yours, Molly.
What? Just being realistic?
Yes,
what?
you
not drinking all the Kool-Aid?
Right.
Okay.
Like, I don't think, again, I've never said anything like out of the box. I just throw out different ideas that could be like, maybe this is a case. Or, hey, if they lose to Jacksonville, that's embarrassing as hell, and I will murder them for it on Monday. But they should be. They won't lose to Jacksonville. But if they lose to Jacksonville, they should be absolutely ripped on Monday, right?
See, I think the main reason people don't want to see a Bears fan on their Wisconsin sports YouTube channels and on the radio, it's a comfort thing. It's like, I want to see and listen to my Packers fans talk to me like this is one of us. You're me. You're just like me. We could say hi, hang out in the bar, go throw on our jerseys, whatever. They want that nice, warm bowl of soup, as we were talking about. That's what they want to feel, and you are an aggressive vegetable on the plate that no one wants to touch.
Spicy vegetable.
You're the side of vegetables that your daughters don't want to eat because they think that they're getting enough with the carrots and the celery.
But
and the
like,
soup.
they're good eaters with vegetables, much better than I am. I'm the one that gets crap at the house for not eating vegetables.
You're
like,
Al
look,
Michaels.
it's in the soup. It's fine. I get what you're saying, but you get that all day. Like, I understand if this whole station was that, but you get the whole day of everyone telling you everything is awesome. And I'm going to tell you everything what's real. But right now, lucky for you, the Packers are pretty good. So, like,
everything is awesome. See, but I also think, because Matt always says that I'm the pessimist, I think it's actually, he's the Packer fan, I'm the realist, you're the pessimist.
And so to that point, though, and this is what I like to always remind people, my pessimistic view on the Packers right now is that they're the 6th best team in the league. They are the 10th, 11th best defense, and Jordan Love's like the 7th best quarterback.
That's some pessimism I'll take, though, right?
That's what I mean.
That's pretty
like,
good pessimism.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not insane in what I'm saying.
But I'm going to be annoyed with you if the Packers do lose to Jacksonville
now that
on
I
Monday.
understand, because
Monday
I'll be happy. Like, that's
Exactly.
what I understand.
That is the difference.
That part I get. That part I understand.
It's like, if you're a Packers fan saying that, it's like, okay, at least he's going to be sad, though. Like, he's saying this, but he doesn't want to say it. It's like, you're the enemy.
I will be dancing in on a parade, but I'm not going to say anything that's not true.
Ryan, our psychedelic advisor, says Jim Rutledge is a prickly pear.
Exactly.
All right.
People like prickly pears, though.
People like me. Thank Riley.
Sure.
Thank you, Riley. Was it twice this week? Were you on Monday, or was that?
I was, yeah.
Wow, twice this week.
Monday?
Woo.
What was Monday?
The first day of the week. Ryan was getting his teeth pulled or something.
Yeah, he had
Oh, yeah, right. He was out. That guy takes so many
Slacker.
days off.
Well, who would have thought that Matt Hamilton would make a week more than Primetime
Wow.
Boys?
True.
Thanks, Riley.
Facts.
Thanks for listening. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Have you lost weight in the past but gained it all back and more? We know the secret to losing weight and keeping it off long-term without drugs or injections. At MadisonWeightLoss.com, many clients lose 20